I thought of myself as a winner. I just win things.
And then you won.
Hmm.
So we have both manifested multiple times winning things, especially in raffles.
Hmm. Yes.
And we're going to talk about that today. So if you're interested in practicing your manifesting, you want to know how to win things, Elizabeth and I are here to walk you through that.
Yes. And the more we talk about it, the more things we're remembering that we won.
Yeah, that's true. Like as we were pre-talking about it before we hopped on to record, we started to remember all these things that we had won. So, if you are new to the channel, my name is Amy. I am a manifesting teacher, certified master coach, and this is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cermak. I am a coach too, psychotherapist and life coach, spiritual coach.
Yes, and you have a channel. We're going to do two parts for this video. This is part one, talking about winning raffles, practicing your manifesting, having fun with it. And part two will be on your channel, which is your highest light, correct?
Yes, you got it. Elizabeth, your highest light. Yes.
Elizabeth at your highest light.
Yep.
Elizabeth, at your highest light. And the other thing is we're going to jump into talking. We have several success stories, mine, hers. We actually also have why it didn't work for someone. We have a story about that.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
can, sometimes it's helpful to know why it didn't work. We have a couple stories and we're going to talk to you about how we thought, how we approached it.
Hmm.
And we are also, oh my gosh, I'm totally losing my train of thought.
It's okay.
We're also going to be talking about the affirmations that we used, the
Mhm.
steps that we used, and kind of deep diving into how to deal with those thoughts that pop up that say that you're not going to win because they do pop
Hmm.
up.
Hmm. Yes.
Like a big thing, right?
Hmm.
So, yeah, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump right into both Elizabeth and I have two success stories for specifically winning raffles.
Hmm.
And my first one is 2017. I'm just going to tell this one real quick and then we'll tell one of yours. And
Yeah.
stories are very helpful. So if you're watching this, one of the reasons people talk in story form and tell stories is because they're very easy to retain. And so many people that I have taught manifesting to have come back to me and said, I remembered your story and the sequence of events in the story, and I just replicated it, and then it worked for me. So,
Hmm.
story form is a really great way to learn.
Hmm. And we're always telling stories in our head, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
it works for us, it works for you.
Hmm. Hmm.
If it can happen for us,
Yes.
it can happen for you.
Yes.
So in 2017, I was at this little festival in this little town in Georgia, and my cousin and I, and she's a good manifester as well. We were walking around. We went into a salon, and they had a little bowl with some tickets and a raffle. I'd never really been to the salon before. I think she went there, and I did not even know what the prize was, but I wanted to win something. I wanted to practice winning. So I put my little name on the ticket with my phone number and I remember putting it in the bowl and her and I, my cousin and I, we actually took a picture. She did hers as well, talking about like, we can win this, we can manifest winning this. I did not know what the prize was. And you've had a situation like that too. One of your,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. My most recent one, I didn't know what the prize was.
yeah, I just wanted to
Hmm.
win.
Hmm.
And then went about my business. It crossed my mind a few times. I visualized winning. I didn't know what it was. I just visualized being told I had won. And a few weeks went by, I think like three or something. And I was like, wow, I never heard anything about that. I must not have won. I visualized it several times. I was already a good manifester, but I'm like, I must not have won. And what's interesting is I remember being like, oh, okay. I didn't fight the thought. I was like, okay. And then about a week later, I was really sad. I was actually driving to my dad's memorial service. I was not happy, I was sad. And I got this random phone call from a number I didn't recognize. And for some reason, I picked up. And it was this person who's like, hey, this is so and so from the salon. Totally had forgotten about it. And you won. And I'm like, what? Who is this? And they're like, you won. And I just still didn't know what I won. And I won a big can of like expensive hair mousse. And I had that can for years, and eventually I stopped because I don't use mousse. I could have cared less about the prize. I wanted to practice winning. So that's my first story, and I want you to share your story because you also have one where you didn't know what the prize was.
Yeah, and that's interesting too. As you're talking, it made me think going to your dad's memorial, it's not like we don't think of that as like a great manifesting mood or like a great manifesting place.
Yeah.
But why not? But it's interesting that it happened. That's just our thought saying that like I couldn't manifest if I'm sad or if I'm, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was the last thing in the world I expected, and I wasn't like, I was sad.
Yeah, right. I mean, so, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, the last one that I won, it was at actually my Zumba class. And it's so weird because like when you think back, a lot of it seems to happen in like a split second, all of it. But there is building up to things, even if I didn't know this raffle was coming. But I had been listening to your subscribership, by the way, on Instagram, which I love.
Thank
And
you.
just practicing those IMs, I would go to bed at night. There was a while that I was doing like 40. I was like just going like everything I wanted to be. I was just getting into it, and I would go. A lot of times I get up and go to Zumba. The next day 'cause I go in the mornings, and I just remember I was getting like compliments that were just out of the blue, kind of, and I'm like, I wasn't trying. Like I wasn't trying to. Somebody complimented my hair. Like I didn't change my hair. I didn't do anything. It was the affirmations. It was the I ams. It was that self concept.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how we started. Like I win things. I never thought of myself in my past, like before this. I couldn't tell you like what year this was that this all started, but I thought of myself as not winning things.
Yeah.
So
Not a winner.
anyway, yeah, I don't win. I don't ever win anything. That was kind of my thing. Anyway, so I walked into the class and the new teacher was having a raffle for breast cancer awareness. And I was like, I'm gonna win. It was like this pink little cute bag, and I didn't know what was in it. And I'm like, I'm gonna win it. And I'm in the back of the class. I got there late. So like it wasn't like I'm, totally present in my manifesting mood. So I had all these thoughts that said, you can't do it. Like you're not good at this anymore. You didn't build up to it enough. You're not feeling positive enough. You'd have to work more on this, kind of was like and also that you're not a good manifestor anymore. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I did it again, like we were discussing, I didn't argue with the thoughts. Because there was no time. So I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna win. And then I won it. And it was a cute little pink shirt. It wasn't like, I wasn't thinking about the prize or anything like that. I just was practicing winning.
Yeah, and that's something. All right, so let's break this down for everybody watching.
Yeah.
So when we didn't know the prize, because we are gonna, do you have one where you did know the prize?
Um, was there? Yes, there was one where I did know the prize. Yeah.
Okay, because we have stories for that too. But this is
Yeah.
specifically when you don't know what the prize is.
Yeah.
We both were like, I'm just gonna do this to practice manifesting. So
Yes.
immediately in my experience, in my opinion, that kind of opens up to being okay if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right.
They,
Yeah. I didn't care. Yeah.
and nobody needs to win a raffle, right? Nobody, I mean,
Right.
okay, so we both wanted it, we didn't need it. We were practicing. We didn't know the prize, we didn't know what it was going to be, which helped us focus on what we actually wanted out of the situation, which was this sense of winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's the achievement I wanted. And before we go on, I want to jump in and tell the story of one of my clients who was practicing manifesting. He did know the prize and he did not succeed. And he asked me why. And I want to tell you what happened with his because it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He was practicing with a raffle. The prize was a pair of tennis shoes or something like some sort of shoes. And so he's a really good manifester. He's manifested a ton of stuff. He's like, I'm gonna practice. He imagined like putting the shoes on, wearing the shoes. He really focused on the shoes. He did not win the raffle. He at the time did not know why he didn't win the raffle from the manifesting side. So then he asked me, and he asked me why I thought he didn't win. And he also commented that he did not even think the shoes were attractive. In fact, he said, I kind of thought they were ugly and I would have never bought them. Okay, so I would have never bought the moose, and you might not have bought the t-shirt, but we didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what the prize was.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But he did know the prize. And so I think, and I'll ask your opinion too, as you're very, very skilled manifester, deliberate manifester. I think the reason it didn't work for him was because he was focusing on the shoes, which he didn't actually want, instead of the feeling of winning, which is what he wanted.
Mm-hmm. Like, yes, no, I agree. And I think it might have benefited us that we didn't know at that point. Not, I mean, if you know, it's okay. But in
Yeah.
this instance,
Yeah, because we have stories where we did know, but I wanted the prize.
yes. Yes,
Where I knew what it was.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, keep going. Yeah, like,
Okay, yes, yes. So, and I was even gonna say, in that moment, like when that happened at that class, the Zumba class, my Zumba manifestation, um, I did. I wanted to practice manifestation. I wanted to think of myself as a winner, but it even goes deeper. Like I want to know I'm connected to the universe. It's more about that for me. Like I am,
you're
the
not
universe
alone.
is on my side. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I have one of my favorite all-time affirmations, and I post this one a lot in the subscribership. People are probably like, "Oh, I am supported."
Yes. I love that.
And so you can just say, I am supported. I am supported by life. I am supported by God. I'm supported by the universe. I'm supported by
Yeah.
consciousness. I'm supported by all that is, whatever, whatever. But if ever I'm feeling like the weight of everything is on my shoulders, whether that's in deliberate manifesting or just in my life, I
Hmm.
start leaning into I am supported. And it's like, in my experience, some sort of like magic shows up and people are like, how can I help
Yes.
you? And I'm like, where did you come from?
Even you saying I am supported, like it just feels so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can be used on any subject, right? So you can use it on with money, relationships. If you're like a parent, or if you're taking care of your parents, like there's so many. I mean, you can use it in any at
Hmm.
work, any subject. So I, was looking at his story, and I was like, I think it's because you were focused on the shoes, and when we're manifesting. And this is a skill, and you get better at it with practice, which is why we
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Right.
The key is to imagine what it is you want that implies you got what you wanted. And so,
Yeah.
because he wasn't going to go buy the shoes, having the shoes on his feet didn't imply because he could have
Yeah.
bought them.
Right.
It didn't imply that he had won them. And it was the winning that was the practice. So, the reason I'm sharing his story is for anyone out there, because sometimes people learn through that comparison of like what worked and what didn't work together
Yeah.
versus just the success story.
Right. Because if I would have imagined myself wearing that shirt, it wouldn't have worked because I didn't, it wasn't about that. And so when you think about the moment you win too, that's one moment, that's the moment. Like
Yeah.
maybe the moment afterwards, it's still good, you're like getting everything, but like that's kind of, I feel like that's the moment that has the most energy.
Yes. Yeah. And it's different. Like I would never have first of all, I think I've used mousse in my hair like 4 times and it was in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Just not a mousse person. My hair is very fine. It just doesn't do anything for my hair. And so if I had known that's what the prize was, like, first of all, I probably wouldn't have imagined winning because I wouldn't have wanted it. But also I would have maybe focused on like putting it in my hair,
Yeah.
which is not an experience that I wanted to have. I wanted the experience of winning. I wanted the experience of feeling like a winner, being a winner. I am a
Hmm.
winner. So let's
Hmm.
go over some of
Yes.
the affirmations, the
Hmm.
self-concept statements that go into winning, because there's a bunch of them.
Yes.
So you said, I think at the beginning, I love this. You said, I love the feel. You said something like, I love winning. I love I don't remember what
I
you,
win things. I love winning.
yeah, you
I'm a
love winning things.
winner. I love winning things. I win things.
I am a winner. I've won stuff before. I can win it again.
Hmm.
I am lucky.
Yeah.
I am lucky. And I love that you said I win things. I don't even think I thought about that one.
I
Yeah.
like to like good things happen to me. Like I feel like that used to not be something that I believed. I know that doesn't sound very strong, but just like good things happen to me. And the other one that comes to my mind is I am chosen. That's from you. That's from
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I am chosen. Yeah, I am chosen. I'm the winner. Um, yeah. Okay. So the idea is, and when I won the big contest in 2013, which was not a raffle, um, I remember thinking, and this is actually going to play into another story we have we're gonna tell in a few minutes of someone else who ended up winning a raffle. I remember thinking, people in my family have won things. I started as I was
Mm.
trying to win that contest, which was over the course of several months.
Hmm.
I remember thinking, okay, well, someone in my family had won a car in a raffle.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
car. Um, so, some people in my family have won kind of like smaller amounts, not like huge amounts, but like five-figure amounts in the
Hmm.
lottery. And I started to be like, well, these are people that are close to me. If they can win, I can win. I started to
Hmm.
associate myself as my family's been lucky, I've been lucky. People do win things. I started to
I
build
like it.
that belief, you know?
Like I know people who win things. People I know win things. I
Yes.
like that because you're also associating yourself with winners. Like,
Yeah, and I actually have a friend, and I mean, this is one of those things where I don't know this person because it's my friend's mother-in-law.
okay.
Her mother-in-law, I think it's before that she get married her son or whatever, won, I think, $9 million in a state lottery.
People win.
People win.
Someone wins.
Yeah, and I don't know that she manifested or deliberately did, but and this is like, many years ago. But I just remember she's like, yeah, casually, like my mother-in-law won like $9 million in the lottery. Da, 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 da. I'm like, wait, that
What?
actually happened to people? Like, so I had that in mind because I've known that since I was in my 20s, and that had happened years before. So it's been at least 20, 30 years since that happened. So in manifesting, it's putting your attention on what it is that you want.
Hmm.
And the more you put your focus there, then the more your reticular activating system starts to bring those things in. So as I started to think about who's won in my
Yeah.
life, it started to show up. As Elizabeth and I were talking before we got on the recording, we start talking about winning, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, I won this. Oh, I won that.
Yes, I forgot. I forgot. Yes, that's amazing.
So we have a couple more success stories, and I'm gonna save them for your channel because they're really good. So
Okay.
we're gonna hop over to Elizabeth's channel, and please like and subscribe. And she's got amazing content. And oh, by the way, did I mention that we've known each other for like 40 years?
I don't think we have. We were talking before we started recording, so.
We have known each other since the third grade.
And then YouTube is how we found each other again, I think.
Yeah, because I moved away.
Yeah.
I moved away from the hometown area, and we reconnected due to YouTube.
Hmm.
And you know, it's been great. And we got to see each other recently for the first time in years.
Yeah. Right. You came back.
I came back. I came back for a weekend. It was great. And so we're gonna hop over to Elizabeth's channel. In that video, we're gonna be talking about how we both deliberately manifested winning raffles where we did know the prize.
Hmm.
And I have another success story from a viewer of mine that left a comment also who successfully manifested a raffle knowing the prize. And so come join us over there, and we'll see you there in a minute.